This video is titled, what is it titled? Understanding Negative Space and a Social Cause. So, negative and positive space. So, negative space and positive space are both really important in any drawing. So, I've just done a quick sketch here to show you. The positive space in this sketch is anything that I have drawn, the object. So, I've got some letters here. I've got a little tree here, a little tree design. So, the objects themselves are the positive space. The negative space is anything else that's in the background. Okay, so it's really important when you're doing prints to think about the positive and negative space, because whatever you're carving away makes a difference. Okay, it really, good artists, when they're creating their artwork, not only think about the objects that they are drawing, but they think about what is around the objects that's creating the whole composition. So I'm going to show you now how to take a sketch and put it onto a linoleum block if you don't want to draw it straight on the block, okay? Anytime you're doing letters, any words, if you have any words that you want to put on your block, I would recommend doing it this way, because your words always have to be in reverse, and it's really kind of hard to do letters in reverse. You kind of have to look at a mirror and all this stuff. I found that this is the easiest way. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to give you probably a 2x3 little linoleum block, but before you actually start carving, you need to come up with your design. So you need to cut a piece of paper, just any, like a piece of scrap paper is fine, or you can tear one out of your sketchbook, and you are going to draw out your design. So the other part of this video is to think about a social cause. And a social cause means something that you care about in the world, something that you think usually that you want to see change, something that you don't like that you would like to see be different. So for me, since the wildfires just happened, I've been thinking a lot about the trees, and I've been thinking a lot about climate change and how we need these trees in order to breathe and for a healthy ecosystem. And so that also just made me think about love. So I combine, and really, like, deforestation is one of my main things I care about. That means deforestation is like the cutting down of trees, like getting rid of all of our natural forests. And it's a really, I don't know, it's an important cause to me. So you might have something that you care about, that you would like to see changed in the world, and I'm hoping that you'll make this print something around that. So if you care about animal rights, or you care about defending DACA, or you care about Black Lives Matter, whatever it is that's important to you, that's what I want your sketch to be about. Okay, so you've thought about a little bit about positive and negative space. You've thought about your cause. You have this sort of sketch that's 2x3. It fits, and you need to sort of make sure that this sketch fits on the block that I've given you. Once you have it sketched out, you're going to place it, and you might even tape it onto your linoleum block. Then you are going to take your pencil, and you are going to go over the whole back of the drawing. Don't let the paper move. That's why I actually recommend taping it. Maybe I should do that right now, just so people will do that. So get a piece of tape and tape it down on the edge. Do not let the tape get on the, don't put a tape right down the center. It's got to be on the very edge. But that's just going to keep it in place. So I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm going over the whole image. Okay, and you're going to see why I'm doing this in a minute. So I'm going over the whole image with the back of a pencil. Pretty hard. Not too hard that you break the pencil or anything, but just pretty hard. So the reason I'm doing this is this is going to give me the reverse of my stamp. So when I pull it off, you see how I see the pencil that was here rubbed off a little bit on this block. Now, the next step I need to do is to get a Sharpie, and I'm going to trace over what I just rubbed onto the block, because the pencil mark will come off, okay? But if you get a Sharpie, the pencil mark will most likely stay. All right, so now this is an easy way to transfer a sketch onto the block, because sometimes when you're sketching, and now that you have your sketch here too, you can also add other information if you like, okay? But now I've got my sketch. Okay, now here is where you have to make a decision. For me, I am going to carve away all of the black. Okay, I'm going to carve away all of the black. That means if I carve away all of the black, that is the part that's actually going to be white when I print it. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to think about this, but now that I have my image, you might decide to carve away everything but the black. So if you want this part to actually be the color of the paper, the color of the ink, then you need to carve away the other part. So a lot of this is why I'm giving you a small one to start, so that you can kind of experiment with what you would like to do. So I've got this here. I'm having it flat on the table. I'm deciding to carve away everything that's black. So I'm going to carve, and the last video is going to show you how to print it. I'll have this carved out, and I'll show you what to do for printing. One thing to remember when you are carving your print is that if you have your image, so I have two here, so I'm going to give you an example. One, I'm carving out the black, and one I'm carving out the gray, and I'll show you what the difference of what they look like in the printing. So if you're having trouble making a decision which to carve out, you might want to go ahead and watch the printing video, and it'll show you what the different ones look like. But before you start carving, there's something I forgot to tell you on the other video. When you are carving, the way that you carve and the direction that you carve is very important. So you will want to, like say if you have some letters, you are going to want to carve around that. You don't want to just do a bunch of random things. You want to emphasize the letter. So go ahead and make a clean line around the L or whatever it is that you're doing, okay? If you are carving on the tree and you're trying to cut away the gray, carve along, and remember to turn if you're turning directions. Carve along the line first to make that clean, then start carving away the other if you're carving away the gray, okay? If you're carving away the black, make sure you're carving along the line and going the direction of the image itself.